Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something pretty interesting, maybe significant, that came out of Microsoft's Build 2025 conference. It's called Windows AI Foundry.
That's right. And yeah, a listener actually sent over a great piece from TechCrunch covering this, which was really helpful.
It was, yeah. So our mission today basically is to unpack this. What exactly is Windows AI Foundry?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And, why is Microsoft doing this now? What's the motivation?
Exactly. And then what does it actually mean for AI development, specifically on Windows? What are the ripples?
Right. Well, the core idea, and the TechCrunch piece points this out, is that Microsoft seems to be really doubling down on making it easier for developers.
Easier how?
Easier to build AI applications that, run locally.
Yeah.
Right on Windows machines, not just in the cloud.
Okay, local AI. That's definitely a key theme.
Yeah.
So let's get into the details. What is Windows AI Foundry? The article mentioned it's sort of a rebrand, something called Windows Copilot Runtime.
Precisely. Yeah, you can think of it as an evolution or maybe an expansion of the Windows Copilot runtime. Where the Copilot runtime might have been, let's say, more focused, Foundry is being positioned as this bigger thing. Microsoft's calling it a unified platform for local AI development.
Unified platform. Okay, so what does that unification involve?
It means it's designed to help developers through the whole life cycle. So not just running the AI model, but also fine-tuning it, optimizing it for Windows hardware, and then actually deploying it inside their apps.
Right. From start to finish for the AI part of their app.
Exactly.
Okay, so that leads to the why. Why this big push now? It feels like a pretty major effort from Microsoft. The TechCrunch article mentioned the money side, of course. Satya Nadella talking about AI revenue.
Oh, yeah. The financial angle is definitely a huge factor. You can't ignore that $13 billion in annualized AI revenue Nadella mentioned. AI is clearly seen as a major profit driver.
Sure, but how does Foundry directly feed into that? If third-party developers are using it, Microsoft isn't necessarily getting a cut of their app revenue, are they?
Well, probably not directly, no. But the strategy here, it seems, is about the ecosystem. Microsoft wants to make Windows the place where cutting-edge AI applications are built and run.
Ah, okay, so foster a really strong AI ecosystem on Windows.
Exactly. If Windows has the best, the smartest, the most useful AI-powered software, that gives the whole platform a serious competitive edge. Against rivals.
It's like building the best roads and bridges so everyone wants to build their businesses in your city, even if you don't own every shop.
That's a great analogy, yeah. They're providing the critical infrastructure for this new wave of AI development on the client side.
Okay, so let's talk about that infrastructure. What are the actual tools, the key features inside Windows AI Foundry that developers to get their hands on?
Right. There are some really neat components highlighted. One is the automatic hardware detection.
What does that mean?
It means Foundry can actually look at the machine it's on and figure out what kind of processors it has. The CPU, the GPU, and critically the NPU, the neural processing unit.
Which is specifically for AI tasks, right?
Exactly. And once it knows the hardware...
Let me guess, it fetches the right software.
You got it. It automatically downloads the necessary software components, drivers, libraries, whatever's needed to run specific AI models efficiently on that specific hardware configuration.
Wow, okay. That sounds like it could remove a ton of friction for developers.
Oh, absolutely. Less time fiddling with complex setups, hopefully. And it doesn't stop there. The article also mentioned Foundry keeps these components updated.
Ah, so future-proofing too, as new hardware comes out.
That seems to be the idea. It ensures the software stays current with new chip releases, so developers don't have to constantly chase those updates themselves, just to keep their AI features running well.
Makes sense. And they mentioned other tools, too, for model prep.
Yeah, tools to simplify model preparation. Getting an AI model ready to be deployed can be, well, pretty complex sometimes, so they're aiming to streamline that.
Okay. And then there's this specific thing called Foundry Local. That sounded pretty central.
It really does. Foundry Local is described as a new service specifically built to bring these AI models onto the client device.
Onto your PC, basically.
Right onto your PC.
Yeah.
And interestingly, it's not just Windows. They mention macOS support, too.
Well, that is interesting. Cross-platform for local AI.
Yeah. And Foundry Local seems to be the engine that actually runs the models locally. It relies heavily on something called ONNX Runtime.
ONNX Runtime. What's that?
Think of it as like a universal translator for AI models. It's an open source project Microsoft has been backing for a while. It helps AI models, which might be built using different toolkits, run across a whole range of hardware and operating systems.
So it helps bridge those gaps, making models more portable.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. Overcoming compatibility hurdles.
Okay. And Foundry Local has a command line interface. That sounds a bit technical for some.
It is a bit technical, but it's really useful for developers. It lets them use simple text commands to, like, browse the AI models available locally, test them out, run them. The article gave examples like Foundry model list or Foundry model run.
Okay. So quick interaction, quick testing for the devs.
Exactly, making it easier to experiment and integrate.
And the last piece mentioned was the Foundry Local SDK software development kit.
Right. The SDK is essentially the toolkit developers use to actually embed all this Foundry Local capability into their own applications.
So the SDK lets them call on these local AI models from within their app's code.
Precisely. Whether they're building for Windows or seemingly macOS as well, it provides the libraries and tools to make that integration smooth.
Okay, let's zoom out. We've talked about the what's and the why and the tools. What does all this mean for, for us, for the people actually using Windows every day? Easier development is great for developers, but what's the payoff for the user?
Well, the direct consequence should be, hopefully, more AI-powered features appearing in the software you use on Windows.
Right. If it's easier to build, maybe more developers will build them.
Exactly. And potentially more sophisticated features, too. But the local aspect is really key for the user experience, I think.
How so?
Running AI models on your own device locally, that can mean faster performance. There's no round trip to a cloud server and back just to, say, summarize a document or generate an image draft.
Less lag, basically.
It's lag, potentially. And then there are the privacy implications. If the data stays on your machine to be processed by the AI.
It doesn't need to be sent anywhere. That's a big plus for privacy-conscious users.
It certainly could be. And also, offline functionality. AI features that worked even when you're not connected to the internet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very practical.
Definitely.
Now, how does Windows AI Foundry fit into the bigger Microsoft AI picture? We know about their huge partnership with OpenAI, right? Is this related?
It's part of the bigger picture, but it feels like a distinct complementary piece. Their OpenAI partnership is heavily focused on, those massive large language models, cloud-based AI like Azure OpenAI service.
The big brain in the cloud.
Kinda, yeah. Foundry seems much more focused on enabling AI capabilities on the device itself, leveraging the processing power that's increasingly available in modern PCs, especially with those MPUs becoming more common.
So it's not either cloud versus local.
No, it looks like a strategy using both. Cloud AI for the really heavy lifting, and local AI via Foundry for tasks that benefit from speed, privacy, or offline access right there on your machine.
And this reflects the broader industry too, right? Everyone's scrambling in the AI space.
Absolutely. AI is just becoming fundamental across tech. Every major player, Microsoft, Google, Apple, others, is trying to build out their ecosystem and establish dominance. For Microsoft, ensuring Windows is a first-class platform for AI development, both cloud and local, is clearly a strategic priority.
Okay, so summing it up then, Windows AI Foundry is Microsoft trying to make it much, much easier for developers to build AI features that run directly on Windows computers.
Streamlining the whole process, providing the tools, handling hardware complexities.
With the potential outcome being a richer ecosystem of AI applications on Windows for all of us.
Exactly. It's laying the groundwork, you could say, for a future where AI feels more integrated into the Windows experience itself. Not just a cloud service you call out to, but something running seamlessly, intelligently, maybe more personally right there on your desktop or laptop.
Which really brings us to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on. Given that Microsoft is putting these tools out there, specifically encouraging local AI development on Windows, what kinds of new, maybe unexpected AI-powered applications do you think we might start seeing?
Yeah, and maybe think about how having more AI running directly on your device, potentially faster and more privately, could actually change the way you use your computer day to day. What does that look like?
Definitely something interesting to consider. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.